A live show dedicated to giving you tips and insights from experts in and around the real estate industry. I'm your host, Jeff Sturtz. Words like Zillow, dare I say, or Realtor.com can kind of be dirty words in the real estate industry for some because of the amount of lead gen money spent on these sort of tools. But we here at Fathom Live, we don't mind them if they help somebody grow their business because that's what we're all about. But what if you could spend that lead gen money on something else, or maybe someone else, or in some way that you like a little bit better? So we're here with the Petersen Property Group, who we're going to bring on here in a few minutes, and one of their things that they do is community involvement. We're going to hear a little bit about that and spending their money there instead of a place like Zillow to continue to both help the community, but then, of course, generate leads. So stick around for that. And something that we rarely do here on the Fathom Live is actually have our guests talk about why they joined Fathom, why they like Fathom. So I'm just going to warn you, for you non-Fathom agents that are watching and you just think, ugh, I don't want to hear a promo, we're going to save it to the end, but I will say stick around because I think you're going to you're going to enjoy hearing from this team today. Before we get into all that, we have a contest to follow up on every week. If you shout out on the comments section below in Facebook and YouTube, tell us where you're from, and you'll automatically be then entered into a contest. And again, contest not of skill, but just of presence. If you're there, you're added to the drawing. If you share, then you get added twice. So here are our contestants today. They are spinning away, and I know this is a really cheesy way of picking a winner, but our winner this week is Sarah Lindeman. Sarah Lindeman. You won, and that you win either a yard sign package up to $200, photo listing package up to $200. There's an on-target transaction, which is valued at even more than that, more than double that, and then also a Go Social Agents lead service, and we'll talk about that in just a second. Our Houseopedia tip of the week. Here's an idea. Now, we've had some stagers on before and interior designers, but maybe, again, cost savings. This would help your buyer or seller. When putting a home on the market, real estate agents often recommend staging your home with a few key pieces of furniture and decor to highlight the best features of your home. If buying or renting furniture isn't in your budget, and it isn't all the time, consider asking a friend. Maybe you could borrow that coffee table or something, some decor that would work well in your space. Alternatively, consider moving furniture from other rooms in your house to stage a key space. So there you go. A lot of cost savings tips over at Houseopedia, but a lot more than that, including things about maintenance and exterior, interior design, that kind of thing over at houseopedia.com. So check them out. Also sponsor is Go Social Agent. They offer affordable and effective social media marketing solutions to help agents grow their business. They'll set up your account. They will do automated postings for you, agent-branded articles, so it continues to drive people back to you and see you. Buyer and seller handbooks that people can download with your face and information on it, or your team name, and then Facebook ad campaigns. So they help you generate leads, grow your online community. So you can learn more at GoSocialAgent.com. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and hit that YouTube bell so that you know when we go live, it shows up on your phone. That way you just never miss a show. And why would you want to miss a show? So, and the great thing about watching live is you can always comment and jump in and ask the people that we're talking to questions. Don't ask me questions. We're dealing with the experts on the other end, so you can ask them questions. If you missed last week's show, we had an architectural designer, or residential designer, Jeff Stout. Had a great show with him and his wife, Genevieve. So we should have saved all of these husband-wife things for February, kind of the Valentine month, but we didn't. So that's what we're doing this month. But we have we had them last week. It was a great show. This week we have our guests Megan and Curtis Petersen and their whole team. So we're here with them today. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Are you asking them or me? Because there's only one of me. Oh, no, you're asking the audience. All right. Yeah. Ask them how they're doing, and then maybe they'll comment below. So welcome. This is the first time we've interviewed a whole team of people, so we'll see how this goes. So speak up, and we'll get all the stuff in the microphone. But let's first talk about maybe kind of how this happened. How did you guys get into real estate and start a team?
So my wife, she was, I think growing up, she always loved the idea of real estate. And when I was when I was a little kid, I would always joke with my dad, I want to buy that tree, or I want to buy this part of the yard. And my dad would always kind of tease me about it. Well, I ended up going and playing some baseball. I got drafted out of high school, and I was in spring training in the outfield, shagging fly balls. And the thing about spring training with being in the pros is nobody gets paid. So if you're a $300 million player, or if you're just a minor league nobody, you're in spring training, no paycheck. And I was in the outfield shagging fly balls, and I was working hard. It was hot. It was South Florida, very humid. And I got the idea of, man, I got to make a paycheck today. I have to do something. And so we went home. I went back to my hotel that night. I prayed about it, and I woke up the next morning just with the answer that I needed to get into real estate. I need to buy all the properties I possibly could. And so from 2009 to 2012, I just kind of had this dream of doing that.
Now,
and then
I want to go back to something. You asked your dad if you could buy a piece of the yard.
Yes.
That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard
Yes.
about a childhood dream.
I was like 5 years old, and there was this tree, and I was like, Dad, I really really this tree for the
Did he
rest of
sell it to you?
No, he didn't.
I mean,
so I was like,
Your first deal that you lost out on.
I learned failure at a very, very young age. So he said, no, son, you can't. And so I swear, I said, how about this leaf? Can I buy this? And
It's a good negotiator. That sounds like my oldest.
Yes. And so he just, yeah. And so I always loved it. And then during spring training, I always just, I don't know. I went back to my hotel with a prayer, and I woke up the next morning knowing that I had to buy as much real estate as possible.
Now,
And
between
so-
the two of you, you were not the first one, though, into real estate, right? But when I say the two of you, as in you and Megan.
No, well, back whenever I was like 16, I was going to like Taylor Realty meetings, doing stuff like that. Obviously, I couldn't be a realtor at that age. And back whenever I graduated high school in the state of Texas, you had to have your associate's degree in order to maintain your license. And so I was pursuing that, and I started working actually as a leasing agent. So I worked with Gables Residential and CIM Group, and finally just took the dive and the plunge and got my real estate license in 2013 and kind of started that trend. It was rough. It wasn't easy, but with Curtis supporting our family and stuff like that, I was able to kind of sort of get the ball rolling. Now we're expecting our third child, and I'm backing off a little bit, and he's definitely taken the reins on everything. So
and I understand this is going to be a leap year baby, right?
No.
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 Awesome.
No.
That's
He will be here
He'll
soon.
be 50 in like 12 and a half. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
No.
yeah. But about that time, right? That's what we're looking at.
Yes, probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
That's exciting. This is exciting. Do you do gender reveal or not?
It's a boy.
It's a boy.
Yes.
Congratulations.
His name is Luca. Do you know why?
No.
Luka, the basketball player.
Luka
For the
Doncic.
Mavericks.
I'm sorry, my sports history. I'm gonna get a ton of flack from people that say,
yeah.
"Why in the world don't you know who this is?" So
People watching, right
I know. Go ahead, start slinging your hate my way, because I don't. I'm ignorant.
Hashtag.
So
Go ahead and add that to your hashtags.
yeah, right. This guy doesn't know who that is. But so you're just to kind of back up again, Curtis. You're in Florida playing for the Marlins on a minor league team, right? Professionally,
Yep.
you want to
Yep.
start getting into real estate, but you guys aren't. You're just dating at this point, kind of long
I started
distance.
dating in 2009.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then kind of as you're leaving that and you've gotten married, now it's like you Curtis, you end up getting your real estate license following Megan, then, right?
I did. So after my first full season in pro ball, I came home and I didn't have my license, and I started trying to pursue my purchasing my first homes and starting building a little rental income, and that was hard because I was young and there were a lot of banks that didn't really want to work with me, And so I finally found a bank that did, and then I was able to buy a bunch of rentals. And then that's when we decided that I was using another realtor, and so we decided, hey, she needs to get her license so she can make the commission.
Gotcha.
So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
So you were in real estate, but not a realtor, and then she got her license to start processing the deals, and then or brokering the deals, and then you came in afterwards to kind of help grow that business, got your license, and here we are today.
Yes, correct.
Gotcha. And you guys have kind of, I mean, in a way, I mean, having been in real estate, you got your momentum there already before you even got your license, but you really hit the ground running with your business then, right? How long have you had your license, Curtis?
I've had it for 2 years.
2 years. And this year, you don't have to say, but what are you guys projected to do this year in volume?
So I would say this year we're projected to do about 30 million.
About 30 million. So that's no small potatoes. And so here you've jumped in head first. Now, at what point did you decide that you needed this team of people around you to help you? And when did you make that first hire, and why'd you do it?
You know, so Kathy was our first one that was with us, and she really has.
And she's
been
in
a
the
blessing.
back. So you got Jennifer up front, but Kathy's in the back.
Yes.
At some point, hopefully, you'll make your way to the front couch there.
No, I'm good where I am.
So Kathy was the first one, and she's been with us this whole time. We've known her for a very long time, and you know, she brings the values and the work ethic that we absolutely look for in all of our team members.
That's me. Yeah.
Not the bad jokes. She doesn't bring the bad jokes. And so you know, she was our first one, and we got to a point where we just couldn't really. We were getting phone calls, and we weren't able to convert those phone calls, and it was tough because I would just kind of hang up the phone and I'd forget, you know, and I'd
Right.
look back later and I'd be like, that's a lead, you know, we could have done something with that person. And so our time was just becoming very, very short, and, you know, we wanted a family, and so
Right.
we needed to get a team to just help us out.
Very good. So it became a volume issue, and then time issue, and then it's like we want to start being able to move some of those deals that are slipping through our fingers
Correct.
to somebody else. How have you gone about adding team members? I mean, what are you looking for in a team?
So
Or in a team member?
I would say the number one thing are their values. I think the values they bring, you know, the qualities that they possess is, I mean, these women here are amazing. I mean, I can't even tell you how good they are. I would say the next thing would be a work ethic. You know, if a really, really strong work ethic, that someone that's willing to work just as hard as we are, and we found out that they're willing to work harder than us. So that's how we've really grown. And really the last thing would be experience, because anybody can learn real estate. You know, it's those first two things that we're really looking at for our team.
So looking for values and work ethic kind of primarily, and then the other stuff kind of you can teach and train after that.
Exactly.
So you've got a team, and this isn't a question I don't think we've asked yet about to other team leaders, but do you all work as a team, or is it just more individuals kind of doing individual work because of volume being passed to them? How does that look?
So that's a little tough to answer, because we will.
I think it's both.
I think
It
it's
is
both. You know, and what the neat thing is, and this is really cool, is I'll come to the office and two of the agents will be in the conference room working together, or I'll call one of the ladies and she'll be at lunch with another one of the team members, and it's really cool. Like, so yeah, we're absolutely working together. I don't think there's any like competition in the office. I don't think there's any. We're all trying to go on a cruise. We've set a goal to go on a cruise.
We'll all go separately, so there's still people here to help.
Right. We're all separate. If we're all gone, then our clients are going to be like,
Then why did you start a team? Yeah, right. If you're all gone. Yeah, very good. Very
It's
good.
important to us, though, that we make sure that they all can stand alone and that they all get credit for their work. We don't. Curtis and I know some team members are very adamant about everything goes underneath their name, But we want to make sure that they get the full credit because they are working hard on their transactions, and it ultimately needs to go back to them.
Do you guys have a team motto? Like, do you chant it? Do you come to the office every day and chant your team motto, or?
No, I would say on our signs, it's the Fathom. I don't know if it's Fathom motto. It's not a Fathom motto, but it's a scripture. You know, it's on all of our deal. Matthew 20:26. That's right. Probably. Do you guys have a motto?
Do we need to create one?
No. Do we need to create one?
What's the motto with you?
Chant.
So let's talk about then. You guys obviously aren't just hanging out there. How do you generate new business to be able to both support a team and make it worth it?
Well, really getting involved in the community, and we have. I'm going to ask Jennifer. Can you step in and just see? Jennifer is the example of things to get into.
Yes.
Her resume is above none. So, Jennifer, what are some things that we do?
We do a lot of networking.
It's below none, right? Would we say that it's below none?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Trying to help you out, Jennifer. Go ahead.
We do a lot of networking. I'm the president this year of the Chamber of Commerce here in Aubrey. I'm the treasurer for the Rotary. There's a new networking group, the Master Networks, that I just joined. Let's see. There's a local business network that we actually meet here in the facility. Wasn't expecting for him to call me.
Well, that's a lot right there. So, I mean, you're undeniably very integrated into your community. So you're known then as a team based on just your involvement that way. So what do you guys do? I mean, how does community involvement then generate business for you?
So we have any festivals, anything that goes on, we make sure that we're a sponsor, we're a part of it, a booth. We just, like the police department, I'll give an example or a story. A police department, they across the street, they come across, they've got a kind of a Thanksgiving dinner. And so we sponsor it, and then a week later we get a phone call from one of the police officers that wants to buy a house. Kerry, yesterday, closed on his very first home. So just things like that. I've got a deal this afternoon at 4 o'clock with the Aubrey softball team. We've got a deal with the Aubrey baseball team. We've got, just getting involved and being a part. We're part of the Flower Mountain Chamber of Commerce. One of our agents, she's not here today, but she's a part of that. She's doing networking down there. Instead of giving our money to Zillow or Realtor or some of these lead gens, we're taking the money and we're putting it back in the community. And the community's noticing. They're seeing it. They're calling.
We're in front of people instead of it just being over the internet. We're actually out, like, shaking hands and meeting people, talking to them, and making that one-on-one connection.
Right. How big is Aubrey?
It's getting very big. Actually, it's just north of 380, and
it's
so
ever growing.
It's growing. So we just put in a 4,000. I mean, Murdad put in a 4,000
home
subdivision. It's growing. I mean, we don't have a lot of rooftops right now compared to some of the more, down by Dallas,
right.
We're not Frisco,
but
right.
We've got a lot of ranches, a lot of high-priced real estate.
Aubrey's just not just Aubrey, though, either. Like, our Aubrey zip code covers several different towns.
Yeah.
So it's like more like the 380.
Yeah, we're really from 380 to like the Red River.
Yeah.
I would say is kind of where we really spend our time.
Gotcha. Because one of the temptations, if it's kind of a small town or smaller town, somebody might say, well, it's kind of hard for me to kind of make a presence in this massive metroplex. But what you're doing is just you're kind of centralizing your business and kind of re-hitting that area again and again instead of casting a huge wide net.
Correct. Absolutely. So we do have one agent that's from Flower Mound, and so we are casting our net a little bit down that way. But that's kind of, the rest is, these wheels will travel and we'll go anywhere.
I don't think we limit ourselves.
All the way to Houston.
We don't want to limit ourselves. Yeah, she flew to Houston to do a couple deals.
Yeah.
So
not necessarily the greatest business model, but if the business is there.
The business is there. That's right. So
Very good. Now, we've heard from other guests that the best way to get clients is from existing clients. Is that something that you guys find? And there's also kind of the principle of always be selling, or not always be selling, but always be asking for business. Do you know anybody? Do you have family members or friends? Do you guys kind of practice those things, or does it just kind of come more just you did a good job and they call you up for something else?
I think that goes back to the moral values, and that's the reason why it's a big importance to us and our team. Because if we can't do a transaction with someone properly, then we're not going to get that return snowball effect. So that is probably the biggest reason why the values are our number one thing that we look for in people. So
right. Because when you sign the dotted line, it's a big trust factor with your client, and if you guys can maintain that across the team, then then people just want to come to you because they trust you. I don't want to minimize your success, but it sounds like, Curtis, you guys, from you starting in real estate over here while playing baseball to Megan kind of in from a real estate lease group and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't sound like you've had a whole lot of setbacks, but have there been some things that have been kind of either road bumps along the way or things that you would have said to your earlier self, I wish I would have done it this way instead? Anything like that?
I'm kind of like a duck. So I'm cool, calm, and collective above the water. But underneath the water, I'm turning, just trying to stay afloat. Yeah, no, there's tons of setbacks. And the bigger we grow, there's always going to be more and setbacks. That's part of the industry. It just is. Bad news just comes with the industry. And I think, looking back, I probably would have told myself last year or year before, just don't get discouraged on the first few deals that I did don't get discouraged with bad news, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, Carrie, do you have anything on that?
Seriously, yeah. Any other thoughts? Anything that you would advise even other team members that are getting into the business?
From a team member perspective, I think Curtis and Megan downplay significantly how awesome they are in supporting us. Yeah. So it's not just we're all great and we get out there and we get our own leads. They pass off leads to us, and they're very, very fair. And so being a part, and they've made it to where being a team member is not strenuous on us. So we're able to continue to give back on a personal level to our clients and customers as well. And I know I am so grateful because my niche is I'm a hometown hero agent, and they so support that. And anything I need to, that's our part of the community. So I'm able to be really involved in the community, but I'm also representing Petersen Property Group. Mm-hmm. So every school in the Aubrey ISD, the police station, the fire station, all have baskets of goodies that I go in and replenish every month because they make it possible. So Petersen Property Group is really known as a family and truly a group. And they do an amazing job of giving us leads and giving us the support. And we do the same thing for each other. If we've got an open house and something comes up and one of us can't do it, we're always there. We're a phone call away. Mm-hmm. Or representing, one of the many networking groups that we're in. If one of us can't attend, we'll get a call and that other person can attend for us. So,
well, that's fantastic. And there's nothing that compares to enjoying coming to work and working with the people that you like. I want to ask you about why Fathom. So, fair warning to everybody watching. We are going to do some warm fuzzies for Fathom here, but any last things that you would say to another agent getting in the business? Like if I were you, I would, thus and so. Maybe somebody is just really hungry. What would you tell them?
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Would be my biggest thing. Whenever I very first got into the industry, I'm not going to name who the original brokerage was that I was with, but I was sat down and told that my success rate was going to be not very good and that I probably wouldn't make it through my first year. And even if I did make it through my first year, the chances of me making it through my second year were very low. If I didn't have Curtis's support, there's no way that I could have done it. I mean, I made like $12,000 my first year. It was awful. But we kept going with it, and I just kept hard at work on it. So it's not something that comes overnight. Real estate's not just a quick money, get in and make your money type of thing. It does take time. So just don't give up. I would say, make sure that you give it some time, and once you can prove yourself to that one golden person, that golden person will talk, and then your leads will start coming in pretty heavily. And then also, as the years go on, you're going to have that snowball effect of those return people that have bought with you, and now they're ready to sell, and they're going to buy again, and so it'll turn into that snowball effect.
Do you guys do stuff to? And by the way, awesome advice. I recently watched an interview with Guy Raz, who usually interviews other people, but the question was asked, what's that one factor that really defines people who are successful? And he said it's exactly what you said. They never give up. They just keep going and going and going. They've done their pitch in front of 1,000 people, and finally the 1,001st person says, "Yeah, I think it's a great idea," and then their business takes off. So, but as far as that churn that you mentioned there, do you guys have habits of somebody that bought a house 3 years ago, they're still hearing from you for when they end up selling again?
Yes. Yeah, we have a lot of return clients, a lot, and then a lot of clients that will refer us out too as well.
Do you guys do like mailers and that kind of stuff to them, or is it just kind of like when they're ready to sell, they remember that you were their realtor?
We just stay in close contact with them. I mean, yeah, we do have like our little things that we'll send out, like our New Year's letters. We'll send out sports calendars. We'll send out Christmas cards. We'll send little things like that. Curtis is really good about going out to lunch with a lot of the clients and just kind of staying in touch with them and maintaining not only like the work relationship, but a lot of our clients are friends. So, maintaining friendship as well.
Well, very good. All right. So you didn't start with Fathom.
No.
And that's okay. We forgive you.
Who started with Fathom? Nobody here started with Fathom. I started with Fathom.
Okay.
That's because I pulled him along.
Yeah. How did you guys end up all coming to Fathom?
So I was with a brokerage before, and great brokers. I had nothing really. I was so comfortable there, I didn't really realize it until another agent brought it to my attention of, you're, not to toot my own horn, but she was like, you're one of the top producing agents. What are you doing here? Like, you're paying in so much money. You don't ever come to the office. You don't utilize necessarily anything here. I did occasionally make a few phone calls to the brokers and get help that way. But at that point in my life, I was kind of doing my own thing. And so I made a phone call to Michael Creighton, and I'm one of those instant gratification people where I was like, Michael, I need to just switch now. Like, I don't have time for this. I just had a baby 6 months ago. I was nursing, I was working. We had our 2-year-old at home. We had a newborn, and I was like, I had 9 listings. I don't know how many buyers I had at that time, but I was like, let's just do this. And so he wanted to meet, and I was like, nope. Just go up your skill now. Where do I sign? Like, let's just do this. So, and at that point, that's whenever Curtis had already started pursuing getting his license, because he could just tell, but I needed the help. And so he got his license. That's whenever we decided to do the team thing, switched over to Fathom, and August of 2017, and
wow. So who was it that referred you to Fathom?
Taylor Robertson is actually the one that she was with my brokerage prior to as well. And Taylor and I had a history. She got her license a little bit after I did, and then she made the jump, and because it can kind of be scary to come over to Fathom. And then Wilson Roberts also did. Mike Swaggart did. A couple other agents also came over to Fathom that I all knew and trusted. And so after talking to them, there was just no doubt in my mind, and we were just, I did interview other brokerages, but
now
Fathom was that stuck out.
I understand in talking to Curtis, You guys offer pretty generous splits to your team members sitting there.
Apparently.
Probably, yeah.
Apparently when
Well,
we talk to others.
let's just say by industry standard or by the kind of the norm, that is, could you couldn't do that if you were at another brokerage.
My brokerage split was higher than what my split or what our split is with our team now. So it's there's no way.
Right.
If our fees weren't so low with Fathom, then there's no way that we could turn around and
we couldn't be here.
No.
We couldn't be with Fathom. With what we want to do, I mean, it has to be so when there was kind of a point where Megan kind of thought about getting her brokerage license, and we kind of thought, what do we want in a brokerage? And so we couldn't get it to as big as Fathom is, but everything that we were looking for and wanted to create, we saw it in Fathom. And so we were like, why even get a brokerage license? Like, we'll just go here.
Just reinventing the wheel, right?
Yeah.
Very good, and you can keep your own branding and all of that kind of stuff as well, and it's still kind of your identity.
Everything we wanted to create ourselves was already created. So
in case another agent happens to still be watching from another brokerage, what would you tell them? Why would you tell them that they ought to at least take a look at Fathom?
Well, first of all, the money. Let's just go ahead and say that. The money is like, I mean, I'm not, but aside from that, it's a good, like, Christian-based company. I mean, everybody here,
tons of support.
Everybody,
I can text Michael Creighton right now, and he'll text me back in 2 minutes.
Yes.
Really? Because every time I text him, it takes about, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
You need to get your license, and you'll right. Then he'll answer your call.
Right. Who am I? Yeah.
Well, and I'm not even a math person, and it was a very easy choice. So I was in the middle. I was with a large firm, and they were wonderful. They offered a great support, but not anything that can be Fathom. And like you said, with the transaction fees and everything, it was just like a no-brainer.
Awesome. All right.
2 seconds to decide.
All right. Very good. So there you have it. Any last words here before we let you go? I don't have to have much of a closeout with my normal spiel here because you guys have already done it.
No. Anybody have any last words?
No, we're good.
I think we're good.
Awesome. This was really fun having a whole group of you here. So I really appreciate you joining us and sharing about your story and how you've grown in the real estate industry. So thanks for coming on.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we'll see you guys later. And of course, head over to fathomcareers.com if you want to learn more about the company that they've been talking about, the one that's on my shirt here. And you can learn about the amazing commission structure. And here's the thing. I challenge you, go to any other real estate brokerage website and see if you can find their fee schedule, okay? If you can, we'd love to know about it. But we put our fees right on our home page, and there's a link there to the entire fee schedule. And so check that out. You can learn about that and then all of the other support. We have local support. We have national support, a lot of different support structures and communities within Fathom. We have KV Core CRM system, paperless transaction management system on the back end, all kinds of stuff. So check us out at fathomcareers.com. We're going to be with Will Johnson next week, and I cannot emphasize this enough. Don't miss this show. When it comes to those kind of like niche, practical ways of finding money where you didn't know it existed, Will's going to talk about renovation loans. He's a certified HUD 203K inspector, and he's going to talk about he's in a very expensive area out in California, the San Diego area, and he's going to talk about what opportunities you have as a realtor to help your clients get a home that may have been totally off their radar, but might end up being something really cool. It's almost like HGTV kind of reno stuff happening with you as a realtor. And so check it out. Next week we'll be with you at 1:30 Central Time. See you then.